TIFU by joking around to make my boss less anxious about a doctor's visit. Obligatory. This happened over 25 years ago. My boss, Charlie, had been traveling a lot, so I hadn't seen him much. He came into the office one Friday after most people had left. But since I had taken on some of his responsibilities, I was still there. We were talking about how things were going, and he mentioned that he had been having these really bad headaches and was going to see a doctor next week, but was really worried. He did ultra marathons and was super healthy. We were on very good terms, and even had done a couple of things socially, so I felt pretty comfortable in joking around and said, "You shouldn't be so worried. What's the worst it could be? A brain tumor?" Monday rolled around, and around noon there was a bit of a commotion. It turned out that Charlie hadn't come into the office and wasn't answering his phone. Someone drove over and found him unconscious in a puddle of vomit and took him to the hospital. It took about a day or so of tests. He had brain cancer. That Friday was the last day he worked, though he did come into the office a couple of times to visit. He underwent radiation and surgery. The tumor was the size of an orange, and at one point he basically had a hole in his skull, covered in skin. As they were anticipating additional surgery, he never mentioned my comment, but I still cringe when I think of it. From his diagnosis, he survived about 18 months. TLDR. Tried to make my boss feel better by joking around about cancer. Turns out, that's what he had. Oh man, that's rough. As a cancer survivor, I would not have taken the comment to heart, even after getting a diagnosis. Sometimes we say these things off the cuff and don't mean anything by it. When we took my dad to the ER last month, I offhandedly told my partner to cancel my parking spot at our apartment because my dad was going to take his car back. He was overseas for a couple months, so I was taking care of it. It's not like he had a brain tumor. Yeah, it was a brain tumor. He's still in the hospital, can't speak, and can barely move, but he's hanging in there. Don't ever blame yourself off. I know it's been many years, but I really hope you know that these were awful and weird circumstances, and nothing you could have said or done would have changed things. Hope you're taking care of yourself. OP's a witch. Burn the witch. In all seriousness, that's wild. You shouldn't feel bad though. Of all the people to get brain cancer, a healthy one would be my last guess. Please don't be hard on yourself. 99.9998% of the time, it would just be an offhand comment that nobody would ever think about again. It's unfortunate that this is not one of those times. But you didn't cause the cancer. You didn't make fun of him. You cared about his health and well-being. And your guilty feelings prove how much you actually cared. You don't come close to meeting the criteria for a bad or insensitive person. I'm very sorry for the loss, and for where your brain has you right now. Now this is a real TIFU. Oof, I do not envy you op. Don't feel so bad. We all say stuff like that. My late husband's favorite thing to say when he didn't like a song, or something the kids did, or anything he disagreed with was, "That is gonna give me a brain tumor." Guess what he died from? You were correct. I've also said similar things. I was leaving a job to move back home abroad. I told him to not play in traffic, you idiot. He died after being hit by a car 2 months later. It's not your fault.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.